Bonjour YouTube, welcome back to our channel. Today we are in Grand Trianon at Versailles and we're going to be taking you to the private apartments of Charles de Gaulle, the first president of the Fifth Republic. So, on y va! So we are back in Trianon and today we're going to Grand Trianon, and while we're walking there, because it's a bit of a walkway, like, you know, long way to go, I'd like to tell you a little bit of a history, just a little bit. So where does the name come from? Well, over here, back in the 17th century, during the reign of Louis XIV, there was a village here under the same name, Trianon, and Louis XIV wanted to get a small chateau that would be exclusive for him. So he bought the land and they relocated the residents here, the habitants, and they demolished everything that was here, and they built first he bought it in 1663,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
And then, it's too bright for me, let's do it darker. And then he had the first chateau built that was called Chateau de Porcelaine.
1672.
But that chateau didn't last long, because by 1687, I think,
Yeah, it's only lasted for 15 years.
they had to replace it with Grand Trianon,
Yeah.
which is the chateau that we're going to see today. Something very, very special. And that will be the quarters of where General Charles de Gaulle, the first president of the Fifth Republic, used to live with his wife. So that's super exciting. And while Le Grand Trianon largely predates General de Gaulle, today's episode will focus on the first president of the Fifth Republic and his time at this gorgeous part of the Domaine de Versailles.
The part we are visiting today is the private apartments of the President General de Gaulle.
Since coming to power in 1958, General de Gaulle decided to adorn the presidency of the Republic with several official residences.
Evidently, Chateau de Versailles itself was immediately out of equation due to its heavy and complicated history and extremely excessive splendor.
However, the question of accommodation of foreign heads of states on their visits to France remained, and an appropriate residence had to be found, considering that good international relations and foreign policy played a rather substantial role in de Gaulle's government.
It was imperative to host and welcome foreign heads of states to the level of excellence and greatness France possesses.
Meet André Malraux, the Minister of Cultural Affairs under de Gaulle government from 1959 to 1969. He was put in charge of the task to find that residence, and on 3rd of August 1959 he visited Le Grand Trianon, as it was much more modest and appropriate for the use than the neighboring Chateau de Versailles.
Exactly 2 years later, on August 3rd, 1961, General de Gaulle joined Minister Malraux for a day of visits to the proposed chateau near Paris.
The two men started with Compiègne, then Fontainebleau, one of our favorite chateaus in France by the way, and Le Grand Trianon in Versailles.
By early 1962, the choice was made and decided on Le Grand Trianon by the minister, with great support of the president himself.
By August of the same year, the decision was finalized by the General de Gaulle himself, and the final layout of the place is decided on. The left wing would be dedicated to the foreign heads of state visiting France. The wing of Trianon-sous-Bois would be dedicated to the private apartments of the president, and the main grand halls and galleries would be used for the official reception ceremonies and events.
It was, however, also important to keep Le Grand Trianon accessible to the public when the foreign heads were not on their official visits.
The restoration and redevelopment work started immediately. The colossal architectural construction work would take about 3 years and be completed by the early 1966, with official inauguration taking place on June 10th. Le Mobilier National ensured the spaces were refurnished correctly, while seeking comfort and yet staying loyal to the style of the empire that is attached to this palace. Today the spaces are refurnished exactly as in 1966 when they were used by de Gaulle. The dining room is where General de Gaulle would sit down to eat, with the food coming up from the kitchens below. We will visit them shortly.
But first, we go up a floor to the private apartment of General and his wife. The rooms are furnished in the style of Louis XVI and form a gallery connecting a large living room, an office, a small adjoining office for Madame de Gaulle.
The bathroom is luxurious, but there were no lights on during our visit, so even though we saw it in person, the camera could not capture it well.
Other apartments are also available on this floor, and they are for the president's family.
We passed by the small chapel installed here at the time of Louis Philippe, and where the marriage of the Princess Marie d'Orléans with the Duke de Wurtemberg was held in 1837. It is absolutely mind-blowing to be in this part of the palace, as we had no idea this chapel even existed.
Behind closed doors is a staircase that we took to descend into the renovated grand kitchens that were regularly used for the General and his guests.
These kitchens were ultra-modern for the time and are still in perfect functioning condition today. They take up a space of 800 square meters in total. Fit with the state-of-the-art equipment, these spaces allow the preparation of meals that can accommodate up to 200 guests.
The design of the space is logical and efficient, with each part dedicated for specific use, with all the necessary equipment installed and in working order even today.
It felt surreal to be here. It's as if we crossed centuries by simply going down a staircase.
After today, we can now definitely say that Le Grand Trianon is fit for its name, as it is truly grand and much bigger than we ever expected it to be. I always thought Petit Trianon and Grand Trianon, there is nothing to see, but in reality there is so much to see, it's just hidden. You need to find a way to get in. And we were very lucky to see the chapel and the cuisine downstairs. Normally it's not open.
I was walking around with a smile from ear to ear in the kitchens, not because, oh my goodness, it's an amazing kitchen, but because of the historic value of the place. It is absolutely insane. Overall, as Sinan mentioned, Grand Trianon, Petit Trianon, they look like there isn't much to see for the average visitors, right? So because you just go through the main salles, through the main rooms, and that's it. But the main things that give you really deep understanding of the place are the actual guided visits that they offer. And it's highly recommended. It's just, it gives you a completely different perspective on the place. So yeah, thumbs up.
That's it for today. Thank you for joining us. If you would like to see more of these videos, please don't forget to like, share and comment below. Until the next one, in Versailles. Au revoir.